Well, this is our last night in Mexico. Getting ready to leave out into international waters and get back to the USA. This is a marina called Los Cobos. It's about 25 miles east of Cabo, and we pulled in here today to fill up the fuel tank after basically motoring pretty much the whole way down here from Cabo. And we ran over to, we got an Uber and went over to Walmart and did some last minute provisioning, some things we said we wanted for the trip. And there she is, buttoned up, ready to go. We put the enclosure on, as we know we're going to get a lot of following winds, and so we wanted to protect ourselves from the wind a little bit. So we put the back glass on, and we had to wash it a little bit, so it's kind of drip drying right now. But yeah, so we're on this massive fuel dock. This whole marina is just full of big mega yachts. This gorgeous boats. I mean, take a look at this thing right here. It's crazy. These guys I was talking to them earlier today, they're provisioning to go out to, there's an island about 300 nautical miles southwest of here. And it's called Coroco or something like that. But it's an island out in the middle of nowhere, and that's where they're getting ready to go out to. It's been kind of cool. It's just a gorgeous boat, though. And then there's another one right behind it that's just as gorgeous and massive. But yeah, you can see how long this fuel dock is. And then there's their little old Sweet Dreams being dwarfed by these massive mega yachts. But it's just gorgeous here, and it's our last night on land for 20-ish days. So it's gonna be a hell of a trip. We're looking forward to it. But man, it is sure gorgeous here. Look at the size of that cross up on the hill up there. It's incredible. All right, peace out. Hawaii, here we come. Okay, so this is day 2. It's about 3:30, Tina?
Yep.
In the afternoon. And I just thought I'd do a little vlog. This is the current state of the boat. This is where we're trying to get some semblance of sleep. It's not really working. Boat's all over the place. We had to tie up the lantern. Right now, the conditions are actually way better than they have been. Reason for a day 2 vlog and not a day 1 vlog is because yesterday we were just trying to stay alive.
That's great.
It was crazy. We had 20 knot winds yesterday. Look at this is what we're dealing with. And sea state was probably 2 to 3 meter waves. Right now it's probably 1 to 2 meter waves, and the wind has died down a little bit. I think it's like 10 to 12 knots now instead of 15 to 20. Here we are out here. This is the state of the cockpit. We abandoned the cockpit. Yes, the waves actually were so intense that we had walls of water coming into the cockpit. So we abandoned the cockpit. And so we're sailing, no motoring.
Although we had an issue this morning with the motor.
Yes, we did have a bit of an issue with the motor this morning when I tried to start it. It wouldn't start. The start button didn't even click the solenoid. So I went through and did a whole bunch of testing and ended up having to get the motor's manual out and trace out the wiring diagram for the start sequence. And I found the relay for the solenoid, and I was able to jumper the relay and get the solenoid to kick in. The relay's terminal poles are a little bit corroded, so I'm thinking that's probably what's going on. When we get to a little better C state and I can actually do some work on it without having to brace myself in 3 different directions, then I'll take the wires off those poles and clean up all the connections and everything and see if that does it. If not, then I've got a relay that's bad, and I'll have to jumper the motor when we need to use it. But the good news is we should have 10 to 15 knot winds for about 15 days straight. So I shouldn't need to use the motor much at all to get over to Hawaii. So yeah, there you go. There's vlog on day 2. I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, day 3 update. More of the same. Pretty rough out here. Got I think 15 to 17 knots of wind going on right now. Can barely move about the boat. It's so rough that I lost my Starlink connection, and it will not reconnect because it's moving around too much. So that kind of sucks. Hoping for a little bit of a break in the wind and a smooth out of the seas. So yeah. So again, no engine. We're gonna try to start it a little bit later on, but here we are. We've made it to waypoint 3, and we're on our way to waypoint 4. Should take about 4 or 5 days to get to waypoint 4. Which is the next one there. You can see the red line there. That's our GPS heading. So we're on course, and we're moving pretty good. Anywhere from 5.5 to 6.5 knots right now, which is pretty good. I think our average is 5 knots is what we're averaging right there. There you see a 6.7. So everything's, there was a 6.9. Everything's going according to plan, other than the fact that we can't start the motor with the push button. We've got to jump start it. And we lost our Starlink, but I'll take you out here so you can kind of see the conditions. Try to do this one-handed. It's kind of hazy today, so solar's not putting out what it normally does. But same sail configuration, no change to the sails. Everything's holding on. The boat's actually riding pretty smooth right now, other than the sea state. Kind of see the sea state. Camera doesn't do it justice, but we're looking at anywhere from 2 to 3 meter waves. Every once in a while you get a 4 meter wave. It really pushes the boat over. I don't know if you can hear the wind howling out there. Howling pretty good. But autopilot's holding on. No problem there. Hanging true. Not really having to work that hard. The boat's balanced pretty well. I think we've got a good sail configuration, a good heading. We're not fighting things too much. We're just kind of going with it. And just trying to get through it. Seas are pretty darn rough. You can just see the horizon change. That's how much the boat's moving. You can barely walk around in that, let alone try to cook something to eat. It's pretty hard to get around and move around in the boat right now. But we're taking advantage of every moment we can to move about safely and prepare ourselves some easy stuff to eat. Tina and I yesterday knocked out making some chicken salad, enough to last a few days. So we're having chicken salad lettuce wraps and bananas and oranges, just stuff that doesn't take a lot of stove preparation. It was calm enough this morning that we were actually able to make some coffee. So that's day 3, our first coffee. So it's kind of nice. But yeah, day 3 update. See you tomorrow. All right, day 4 update. This is the V-berth. This is now where I'm sleeping. Tina and I's sleeping arrangement. Wasn't working out too well with the boat moving around as much as it was. Me sleeping on the outside edge over here. Was basically rolling over into Tina all the time. So say hi, Tina. State of the boat, not bad. We actually were able to move about a little bit today. The wind died down. But the sea state is still really a bathtub out there. You can kind of see it in the window here. And honestly, without wind, we're just bobbing around. We're still moving forward. We got enough wind for between 4 and 5 knots. But look at that. Camera never does it justice. But these are still 2 to 3 meter swells, keeping us moving forward. And the wind is now more towards our aft than it is on our beam, so that's good. We were able to make some potatoes and eggs today, but both of us took a couple of bites of them, and that was about it. That's all we could handle. We got dishes done today, so that was good. I was talking about the motor starter relay. Just to kind of update you guys, this is what I've done with the motor starter. Kind of surrounding it with tin foil. That's it right there, so that when I do arc it across, no sparks are anywhere near the engine bay, which is, you know, right behind the stairs. So I got the wires just kind of pulled out here, and I got easy access there to those 2 terminals. When I spark it, there is a little bit of spark, but I'm trying to just kind of block it with the tin foil. So that's how we're starting our engine. Decided to start leaving Starlink and the inverter on 24 hours a day. So the last couple of times I've tried to link back up with Starlink, it would take hours to connect to a satellite. So rather than take any risk of losing internet connection, we're just leaving it on 24 hours a day, which means we have to run the motor pretty much every day for a few hours to get the batteries charged back up. Solar's doing a good job. I almost lost a panel today, but noticed it and got back up there. zip tied it in place. I think I was talking about the rub rail yesterday or the day before or something. You can kind of see that's the rub rail there. And in 15 to 17 knot winds, I had to go out on this deck and pull that rub rail up off the side and zip tie it up. It was a little bit nerve-wracking. The sails, I'm double reefed on the Hilo and here's the main. Even though it's light winds, I would rather leave the sails in a double reef because I know the higher winds are going to come back. Autopilot's still holding. No issues with autopilot, thank God. Sun's starting to go down. Day 4's been pretty good. Haven't made a lot of progress. Just a beautiful, beautiful sky out there. Not a lot of forward progress today just because the wind's kind of died down. I'm going to come down and show you guys the calendar that we're keeping. So this is a calendar we're keeping. We're on day 4 of the 16th right now. The numbers there are the miles traveled for that day. So you can see day 1, 98 miles. That's when we had headwinds and we really struggled with that, but we traveled 98 miles. Day 2, 131. Yesterday we got 151 miles in, which is pretty darn good. Our goal is 144, so which is about 6 knots on the average, and I think we're at about 5.2, 5.3 knots on the average right now. But yeah, that's day 4, and see you again for day 5. This boat is crazy. All right, welcome to day 5. I'm gonna hand this one off to Tina.
So yeah, day 5, a little bit more comfortable. We're actually getting into somewhat of a rhythm. Able to walk around the boat just a little bit more. The waves have definitely calmed down a bit, which is wonderful. It's beautiful waters out here right now. Beautiful blue sky. We were actually able to come up top and take advantage of sitting in the cockpit again and getting fresh air, opening some windows. It's been wonderful. And we also got to watch a show.
Yeah, we streamed the sailing channel today.
We did. So yeah.
So where are we? How far out are we?
I have no idea.
We are a little over 500 miles out today. Yesterday we made 120 miles, and on an average we've been making 125 miles a day. So pretty happy with that, but that puts us at, what did I say, 21 or 22 days total?
Yes.
You do the math for 2,700-ish nautical miles. So pretty happy with that. We downloaded another weather grid today as well. And the next 10 days looks like what we see right now. There is...
Very manageable.
Yeah, there does appear to be some high winds in the forecast, up to 20 knots again. But that's 4 or 5 days from now. And every few days I'll download another weather grid and double check. But no change in waypoints, no change in course. The winds have shifted to be mostly from the aft quarter now, aft quarter. And we're loving it. It's great. If the wind stayed like this the whole time, I'd be a happy camper.
Yes.
Oh, last night we lost autopilot. I don't know what happened. But and the autopilot last two, 6 wind shifted and backfilled the Genoa sail.
Didn't you say we got turned around?
Yeah, we got completely spun around. What was that, 2 in the morning? 3 in the morning?
3 in the morning. Head north again. We don't want to do that.
That was crazy. I had to come out here and react really fast. But we had the motor running already. It was just in neutral. We're using the motor as kind of a generator at nighttime. And so I just put the motor in gear. Tina went down and grabbed my eyeballs and my iPad.
I do what I can do.
So I can see our GPS direction and get us back on course. He also flipped on the running lights so I can see the compass ball. And we were corrected again in, what, 10 minutes, I think?
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Yeah.
I was grateful for that. I'm grateful for this man right here.
Thank
He
you.
keeps us safe and afloat.
I do what I can
Yes.
with what I got, with what God gave me.
Anyway, it's been a great day, and we will check back with you on day 6.
Day 6 update. So we got 127 miles yesterday, and we're at a total of 627 right now out of 2,749, I think it is, something like that. So day 5 is down. Tina's making a
Navy bean and bacon and onion soup.
navy bean, bacon, and onion soup. I've got some bread going. And it is rolly out here today. Boy, I tell you what, boy, I tell you. No. Oh. Look at that sea steak. In the camera, it looks great. But let me tell you what, it's a bathtub. There are waves coming from every different direction, and it is just
Not easy to move around.
bobbing this boat around. Yeah, not easy to move around down here, but we're making the best of it. There's a little bit of wind. It's like 8 to 10 knots right now. It's enough to keep the sails full. You can see we're keeping them double reefed just so that we don't have to worry about coming out here and reefing in the middle of the night or something if the winds decide to suddenly pick up. I think that's the safest thing. Plus, it's allowing us to, save wear and tear on the sails and the rigging, everything else. I'd rather make it there than, break something. So there's the Genoa. We've double reefed. Yeah, it's going pretty darn good. We're just cruising along. Nice day today. It's pretty cloudy this morning. Trying to bring in a fish in these conditions. Can't tell. That right there and the one right behind it. That is a 6-foot wig. Got solar going. Making about 13 amps of solar right now. Charging up the batteries. Although because of these clouds, all these clouds in the sky, right now the sun's behind the clouds, it really affects the solar. So I've been having to run the motor every night for 4 hours, 5 hours to keep up with the nighttime energy demand. So I'll show you the, like right now, because the sun's behind there, we're literally only making 4 amps. Or earlier I was making 12 to 15 amps. Batteries are at 13 volts, so they're fully topped off, but look at the one that says time to charge. At that voltage, it's going to take 22, 23 hours to fully charge those batteries. Even though they're at 13, These batteries fully charged are usually, you know, 13.4, 13.6. So that's why I'm having to run the motor. But you want to say hi, Tina?
Hi, Tina.
But yeah, there's day 6 for you in the books. And we'll see you guys on day 7 for another update. Well, good morning of day 7. Woken up by AIS. A big cargo ship. A few miles from us. Here it is. Shenyang. Close, considering we're 700 miles off the coast of land. Alright. Loving AIS right now. So, I just peeked my head out the front hatch to do a visual check. During the day I don't run my AIS, so I just do visual checks every 30 minutes or so. I came out here, did my visual check, and I found that we have a little stowaway. Probably from last night. Go squid. Probably from last night, one of the waves came up and dropped him on the deck. Let's see if we can't send him back to the sea. Yeah, gorgeous day today. Sunday, Easter, day 8. Wind is steady, pretty cloudy. Steady day though. This morning, sea state was really rough. It was like in a washing machine in the wash cycle, top load washer. It was pretty crazy. But right now we're cruising right along, probably doing 4.5 to 5.5 knots. Fairly comfortable. I think we're going to hit 900 nautical miles today. All right, day 8.
We are on day 9 out at sea in the Pacific. We've had a little visitor come and see us. It's a bird up here. He's actually taking a rest probably before he heads on to his next journey, which is pretty cool. We have currently reached 970 miles at this point. This morning was interesting. We had our water maker go out. This morning we had our water pump go out. I was running the water, no problem, and then all of a sudden it just started trickling out. So Israel had to come to the rescue, and he had to swap out the water pump.
You gotta have a spare.
Right? We don't know what was wrong with it. It could have been something simple, but we didn't have time to troubleshoot, so we just swapped them out. But yes, thank goodness he had another one. The weather's a little bit better today. It's not so washy. Sun's out. We're getting plenty of solar. Oh, yes, our Genoa. So we have our mainsail out all the time, but our Genoa, that's pretty much our gear shifter. It's faster, slower, however we put it out. But we have a chafing in the line. And where is it at?
It's actually, when it's open, it can be up in the drum, but when it's closed, it's
Yeah, I don't know much about this part. It's too technical.
rolled up. I think it's up there by the tanks right now. When it's rolled up.
But anyway, it could be a problem.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. We have to be very, very careful with where that chafe point is when we're using that Genoa. The outer sheathing is completely separated. The inner core is in good shape, but you still lose some strength when you break that outer sheathing. So I got it wrapped up right now with some tape to keep the outer sheathing from just completely separating all the way down the line. And we just got to keep a close eye on it because I do not have a spare. I guess worst case scenario, if it completely fails, there's a couple of options I could do. I could take the line out of the guide rollers, like right here, completely out of those, and do a line-to-line knot. And then we would just have to be real careful with the way it winds up into and out of the furler in that situation. Or I could swap out the... There's a good one. Or I could swap out this number one briefing line, since we probably aren't going to use it this whole trip. So there's a second option.
So
We have two options if it does break, but we're gonna be really careful with it so that we don't actually break it.
So yeah, that's day 9, and also we're sober 9 days.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Israel Anderson, and I've been sober 9 days.
You never want to admit it that you've been sober for 9 days, but actually it's quite an accomplishment. I think we're both losing some weight, and it's just good for our soul anyway. So, day 9. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Evening of day 9. Just out the V-berth hatch here. Pretty sunset. And we've got a stove. Still with us. I think he's trying to sleep. I think I might have just woke him. How adorable. He's just going to hang out with us. Yeah, I think he's headed to a water. All right. The evening of day 10. Day 10 update. Say hi.
Hi.
Pretty uneventful day. Started off with very, very little wind. To the point that I think we motored for, 9 hours, I think. Until we got some wind. And then
All night long.
it was such low wind that we ended up putting out or shaking out the second reef in the main. So we're now just running the main on a single reef. There she is. Hard to see through all the salt. But then towards the evening here, the winds have kind of picked up a little bit. But we're moving along at 5.5 knots, I think, something like that. We
did another weather check, and there we go. There she is, single reef, main only. Don't really want to use the Genoa anymore. Now that I found that chafe point down to the core of the furling line, if that thing breaks, it's going to break while it's under load, and if it breaks while it's under load, it's going to be mass chaos on this boat that I don't want. So I think it's just safer to not use it and replace the line when we get into Hilo. So anyways, we did a weather check today, and yeah, that's what it's been like all day. Just clouds like this all day long. We're supposed to get some strong winds coming starting Thursday evening. Anywhere from 16 to 18, gusting to 20. So just kind of checking everything out, looking at all the lines, looking at all the pulleys, looking at all the connections, making sure everything's ready for these high winds. We'll end up pulling down that second reef again, probably Thursday, maybe in the afternoon or something. We'll have to see. I'll do another weather check tomorrow, which would be Wednesday, I believe the 23rd. And yeah, I think we reached 1,130 some miles today, I think. So tomorrow we should be, I think tomorrow evening we'll be at mile marker or waypoint 5, which is the halfway point. So pretty excited about that. And then we're expecting the second half to go a little bit faster in the first half. These high winds that are coming this weekend, they look like they're going to go for 3 or 4 days, which should push us along pretty good. And then we'll see. Yeah, we'll go from there. All right, that's day 10. Day 10 update. Catch you tomorrow.
Hello, welcome to day 11. Israel is, what is Israel doing? He's tightening some.
Going down in a hole.
He's always got to make a song of it. What are you
There's,
doing? You're tightening the steering?
Yeah, there's a little bit of clunk in the steering mechanism, which the last time I had this clunk, it was just that there's an adjuster for the cables that wrap around the pulleys, and it just needs to be adjusted a little bit tighter to get rid of the clay. So that's what I'm going to go down and take a look at and see if I can tighten her up while she's underway and on autopilot.
That would be best instead of having Tina steer. Let's hope this works.
Don't need anything.
Well, I can steer. I've done it before. It was just one mishap that apparently I will never get over. Which is like, besides what he's doing, it's a gorgeous day out. The sun is out. We're getting solar. I'm prepping meals for the next 4 days or so. I mean, you can only prep so much because we're supposed to be getting some pretty high winds in for those waves. So we're trying to make as less motion on the boat as we possibly can by cooking. It's not fun cooking when this boat is rolling around. It's very stressful, actually. So I'm trying to alleviate some of that stress by prepping some meals. So yeah. Anyway, when Israel pops back up, we'll let you know what we find. This is daily life for us. except for the sound of the ocean and creaking sound of the boat. Or the flogging of the sail, I should say. Kind of nice, but can't wait to get back to some hustle and bustle. But I will definitely never forget this. I will go to this will be my happy place in the future when I need to go somewhere and chill and stress. De-stress. I'm sorry. Anyway, hope you're having a great one.
All right, welcome to the belly of the beast. We are down here. This is what you're looking at here is the autopilot arm. This is the Ray Marine Type 1 autopilot arm. It comes over here and connects to the main rudder shaft. That shaft goes down through this tube and connects to the rudder. This packing gland here, when I first got down here, that shaft was kind of bouncing around in there, and all of these bolts here were loose. So the packing gland was allowing that shaft to kind of float in there, which is probably not a bad thing, but it was floating a little bit too much and it was really clunking. So I've tightened all these up just enough to get some tension on the bolts. So that thing's not flopping around as bad as it was. This up here is the pulley with the steering cables attached to it. This one here is the position sensor, so it senses where the rudder's at in relative to 0, and that's a calibration setting that you set when you first put this in place. The other clunking is coming from back here. Let's see if I can get a light on it here. Which I don't think I need to worry too much about. So that there is the connection for the autopilot connecting to this mount back here. Now there is some play, you can see the play there, and you can hear it kind of clunking a little bit. But I think that that play is important so that the shaft of this autopilot doesn't get bound up. That's the only clunking I have left. And this connection back here, from what I can see, appears to be good. It is moving around a little bit, as you can see, but like I said, I think it needs to. It makes sense that it would need to have some play in it to ensure that the shaft arm here doesn't, get bound up, right? So, all of this is in prep to make sure that we're ready for the 3 days of storms that are coming. And 3 days of 17 to 20 knot winds. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Monday they start to taper off, and Tuesday they should get down to like 14 knots, which is fairly manageable. So, we are on day 11, down in the belly of the beast. Alright, day 12. Day 12 update. Been pretty uneventful. Today's Thursday, 24th. And day 12 for us. After looking at all the weather maps, got some wind coming in starting tomorrow. Looks like it's going to last through Monday. So one of the plans today was to get our mainsail reef down to the second reef, get ready for this strong wind that's coming in sometime in the middle of the night, early morning. So we just finished reefing the sail, and I'll show you that here in a minute, but just kind of wanted to show you our coordinates here. We have reached waypoint 5, and
starting on waypoint, our way to waypoint 6. It's 438 miles away. This is our current speed. Anywhere from 4 to 5 knots. And as we got waypoint 6, waypoint 7, waypoint 8 is Hilo. So I believe we have reached the halfway point, or we're very close to it. So this is our tracker. So we're 7 hours and 50 minutes into the 12th day. This is our total distance traveled at 13:40-ish is the halfway mark. This is our average speed. So we've lost another 0.1, so we're down to 4.9 on our average speed. But
Why do we still have the engine on?
because there's no wind, I'm just gonna leave the engine running. That's our generator for the night. So anyways, kind of where we're at. Tina's cooking dinner. We're gonna have
Hamburger patties and potatoes and corn.
hamburger patties and holy cow. Trying to refill a pepper grinder while you're underway. So yeah, hamburger patties. Just gotta fry up some corn. And cooking while underway is not easy. That's why Tina's been doing so much prep. So when we get into these high winds, a little bit easier for us to eat rather than having to cook stuff. All we gotta do is pull stuff out and warm it up. Much simpler. This is quite the process while you're underway. Especially on a monohull and it's just constantly rolling back and forth. Yeah, so when we made the decision to reef, the winds had picked up to probably 15 or 16 knots, and we were doing between 6.5 and 7.5 knot speed. And then right in the middle of reefing, it just completely died. You can see my flag up there is just lollygagging around, and the sail here is just kind of flopping around. And while I was out there on the deck and Tina was lowering the mainsail, I was getting peppered with a little bit of rain mist. You can kind of see, let me go out. Kind of see that cloud in the distance there. That was on us when we were reefing. And you can see the sails just kind of flogging around. There's like zero wind all of a sudden. But we're ready for the evening, I think. The sail being reefed. So yeah, we're running the motor right now, but kind of have to use that motor as our generator for the next few days because I don't want to have the little portable generator out here in the cockpit when we're in, 16 to 20 knot winds. And I certainly don't want to climb out there to that red can to refill it while we're in those kind of winds. So we're just going to use the motor as our generator for nighttime when the sun goes down, or like today when it's super cloudy. But yeah, we got a couple of visitors. Got some flying fish on board. There's one of them. Back to the sea. Here's the other one. Back to the sea. Pretty rolly out here. You see all the pressure that the boom rigging takes when that sail's flogging around. I hate it. It drives me nuts. Hear that thing just banging around.
so bad on all of the running rigging. I'm trying to hold my phone and hang on. It's rolling. See, let me get back to the cockpit where it's safe. So, all right, everybody, there's our day 12 update. We will see you tomorrow. All right, we are on day 12. Day 12 or day 13?
I think it's 12.
I think it's 12. Anyways, it's quite beautiful out here right now.
13.
Day 13. We got a bird with us. The wind has picked up quite a bit as expected. We're probably getting 16 to 18 with gusts to 20. Maybe a little higher. We just had that pass us, and that carried with it some rain and some really high winds. We had to come out here and manually take over the wheel, the helm for a minute. The autopilot couldn't keep up, so we had to come over here and manually adjust for a minute. And I was at the 250-degree heading, and I put it to 235, which is kind of more going with this. It's a little farther south than I want to be pointed right now, but I figure there's no reason to fight this. May as well just go with it. It's supposed to last for a few days. So after it calms down, then we'll start pointing back up north and try to get back on course. But there's no sense in trying to fight this. And these waves, camera never does them justice, but we're seeing 3 to 4 meter swells. And we're rocky and rolling around here right now. I gotta admit, a little bit nerve-wracking. The 1,500 miles off the coast, going through some storms out here. But the boat is pretty solid. He's handling it. I think autopilot let loose just because the bearing that I was on was kind of fighting the wind and the waves versus just kind of going with them. So ever since I changed the bearing, it's holding up pretty good right now. But it's gonna be a long night. I don't want to be too far away from the cockpit at nighttime. But yeah, day 13. The storm is on us. Day 14. A lot of the same. Made 136 miles yesterday.
We're hauling ass yesterday.
Yeah, we're doing pretty darn good, although it was pretty hairy there for a while. Still pretty cloudy outside, so we're not doing too good on solar. Here's our course and speed. Kind of hard to see. Going pretty slow right now. Here's our overall. We're 7 hours into day 14. Averaging 5 knots again. Gone a total distance of 1,604.8, so 1,605. In 95 more miles, we will have 1,000 nautical miles left. Actually, probably a little less than that. I think it was 2643 total miles from where we left Los Cobos.
Been able to move about the boat a little bit easier today, although it's still a rocking. Let's see if I can make my way up top. Got the cabin all cleaned up. All the bird crap. Oh my God, it was terrible. It was everywhere. But I used that bucket right there. Just threw it overboard. Pulled in some water. Tina got me a scrub brush. And I went to town, cleaned it all up. You can see fuel level in that can is down to 2 gallons, so I filled 13 gallons into the boat's tank today. So that's the first time I've had to transfer fuel into the boat. And we're on day 14, so I feel pretty good about that. Although, because of all the cloud cover, we've had to run the motor quite a bit more than I would like. But we've got about a week left, I think. If everything goes well. Still work out here visiting. Been with us all day long. I don't know where the other birds went. But we still got this one. Been hanging out all day. Still got double reef in the main. Still got pretty good wind. And some pretty good seas. Oh. Yeah, solar panels are just covered in bird poop too. There's one of the other guys right there. Yeah, look at the solar panels. It's ridiculous. Thanks, birds. Some all over the deck. Yeah. Happy to be a safe harbor, but jeez. Come on already. What are you doing? Alright. Day 14. Over and out. End of the day, day 14. Sunset. Day 15. It's been a rough one today. We did get some blue skies earlier, but look at these swells. Pretty big. And pretty short span between them. Had a couple of squalls come through. Dropped a little bit of rain early this morning. Nice little roll. Early this morning, it was calm enough that I was able to fill up the Honda generator with some unleaded fuel from out there. I wouldn't even think about going out there in these conditions, but it was calm enough that I was able to get that done. So topped off the batteries with the generator. Ran the motor enough last night that Tina and I took a much needed shower. I felt really good. But otherwise we're just kind of hunkered down, trying to just ride this out. Looks like it's going to be like this for another couple of days. And then should start calming down to 14 knots, which sea should calm down a little bit. Be a little bit more manageable. yeah, day 14 has been a gnarly one. Or day 15, I guess. Yeah, day 15. All right, catch you guys tomorrow. Day 16. We're supposed to see 20 knot winds today and tomorrow. Sun is shining. Solar panels are charging the batteries. Cruising around. Still double rift. Not really much you can do on a boat in these conditions. Just gotta kind of hunker down and ride it out. You can't really move around too much. Very, very difficult to move around. We went 144 miles on day 15. So we're cooking along. 144 miles is an average of 6 knots. Cooking right along. I think we've got about somewhere in the neighborhood of 800 miles left to go. 850, something like that. But yeah, next couple of days are going to be pretty rough seas. Winds are supposed to pick up here in the next few hours. And I think this is probably 16 to 18 knots right now. It's supposed to pick up to 20. Gusts up to 24. And then Wednesday, it's supposed to calm down to like 14 to 15 knots. And if everything stays the same, we should be in Sunday in the evening, or maybe Monday early morning. Either way, I do not want to arrive in the nighttime, so if it looks like we're going to arrive at night, I'll pull a sail, slow us down. Woo! That was a good one. All right. We are on day 16. All right, day 17 has been a nightmare. Been up since 3:30 in the morning. I think I got up, and we started to get high winds that were expected. And it was a heck of a blow. Calmed down now, and it's still pretty rough out there. But we were getting winds probably 20 to 22 sustained with gusts to 25 easy. And it was bad enough I had to change our point of sale from 260 degrees to 285 degrees. And that took me quite a few hours to figure out that I just could not sail on 250 degrees anymore. This guy's still with us. And many times coming up here, manually steering, as the point of sail I was on was just overpowering the autopilot. It's still blowing pretty good. It's probably 16 to 18 right now, and expected to calm down overnight. And Wednesday and Thursday is supposed to be between 13 and 15. We'll get a little bit of a break, and then Friday it picks back up. But Friday we're expecting to completely change our sail configuration to starboard. So we'll be on a starboard tack instead of a port tack, which will be the first starboard tack of the trip. And then that tack ought to take us back down to the Hilo area, and then should be there by probably Monday morning. We're thinking Monday morning, maybe Sunday night. We're going pretty fast. We picked back up to 5.2 knots on average, where we had lost down to 4.9 in the last few days. We picked up to 5.2, so that tells you just how fast we've been going. It's been a ripper. I did take some damage to the mainsail today. You probably won't be able to see it, but on the second batten up, let's see if I can zoom in. The second batten up, yeah, it's just gonna. On the second batten up, the clip that holds the sail into the mast groove popped off. It looks like it's just resting on top of the next clip down. And then looking at the other ones that are at the battens, they don't look like they're sewn on. So I'm hoping it's just like clipped on and that's repairable. Otherwise, it's not good. And that just happened because we kept backfilling the sail and kept popping over pretty violently in those winds. And it did it one time, and I looked up, and sure enough, I saw that clip was missing. That's about the time I said we need to do something different. And pointed the boat to 285 degrees, which is much more north than 250 degrees. So we're definitely steering away from Hilo, more towards Honolulu. But on Friday we plan on tacking and steering back down to Hilo and sailing on a starboard tack there. So, day 17, we are officially in Honolulu time. So we are 3 hours ahead of the Pacific Northwest now, Pacific time. These waves are just still massive. I dropped down to the bottom of these things, and the wave behind it, it's hard to tell, but that wave is taller than my boat, like the Dodger, right? So I'm sitting from the water line to the top of the Dodger is probably close to 10 feet, and those waves are over the top of me. Those big ones. It's pretty good size swells. I tell you what, this morning at 3:30, 4:30, 5:30 a.m., it was, there were times where it was like scary. Just like praying, you know. But, yeah, look at that thing. Well over the top of my boat. Holy crap. But we made it through it. And the wind seems to be slowing down a little bit right now, and they're supposed to continue to slow down overnight. So hopefully we can just stay on this point of sail and ride it out through the night without having to do anything too crazy. So day 17, over and out. We'll see you on day 18.
All right, day 18. So, what a difference a day makes. It's been a great day today, but let's talk a little bit here about this. So we have altered our sail plan based on wind conditions. So you can see this is the new sail plan here. There's Hilo there. Got a few extra waypoints in there. We're off the course just a little, but I've made some adjustments. So by the time we get up there to waypoint 4, we should be right on course to make that tack. And by the time we get up to waypoint 4, we should be seeing some strong winds again, although hopefully not as strong as what we had the last 5 days. So we're still cruising right along. I think there's probably 13 knots of wind out there right now. Again, it was just a great day today, so got some projects done. Here's our calendar. So yesterday was 134 miles, day before that 143, day before that 144. So you can see those were the real strong wind days. Yesterday was the craziest day, but the wind dropped off in the evening like it was supposed to, and really dropped off after dark. We got like 0 wind, the sails were flogging. But you can see we're at 2,119 miles right now.
But we got a good night's sleep.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. We actually slept really well last night. So the overall trip is 2,649 miles, I want to say. So we're a little less than 600 miles away. Pretty excited about that. We expect to be there on the 4th or the 5th of May. Take you outside, show you the conditions. We've been working all morning, getting ready for the next heavy wind set. Tina prepped some more food. I made water. That's what the generator's out here for. I swapped the gas tanks. So the empty one is the empty one is here, and the full one is over here now. And I put about 5 gallons into the boat. So far we've used 15 plus that 5, so there's 20 gallons, and we have a full tank. So we're in this 18 days and we've used 20 gallons of fuel, so pretty happy about that. It's been primarily sailing, as you can see right now. It's all 100% sail right now, no motors on. One reason we really use the motor is for charging the batteries. But I'm having an issue with the regulator. It's not charging the batteries at the alternator's capacity. So I don't know if it's the alternators or the regulator or both, but working with Austin back home to replace the whole set with an updated new set from Balmar. So that and the starter motor relay, and now I've got to fix one of the clips on the mat on the mainsail. Got a little bit of work to do when we get there, but this is what it's like out here. It's still pretty rolly, but a little bit of wind, enough to keep the sails full for the most part. But it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I will take a day like this any day over what we had for the last 5 days. That was crazy. So yeah, day 18. It's a gorgeous day. Tina and I actually put a couple of beers in the freezer, get them cold, and I think we're going to sit up here in the cockpit for a little bit. Enjoy a beer together on a beautiful day here. We got this, and tomorrow it's supposed to be like this again. And then Friday, towards the evening on Friday, I believe it's supposed to turn and give us some good strong winds again, push us the last way into Hilo. So I'll be checking the weather again probably tomorrow, make sure nothing's changed. But yeah, pretty beautiful out here. Got a lot done today. Pretty good about it. And we both got showers in. It's always nice to take a hot shower out here after running the motor to get hot water and then making water and have enough water to fresh water to take a shower. It's pretty nice, I gotta say. Does definitely upgrade your mood a little bit to get a hot shower in and feel clean again. Alrighty, day 18. See you tomorrow. Alright, day 19 update. Not a lot has changed today from yesterday. Conditions are pretty much exactly the same. Wind is supposed to be building as we go into the evening, but it's been a slow one. It's been really slow today. You can see we've made one waypoint and we're trying to head to waypoint 3 there, but it's still, what is that, 98.4 miles away, waypoint 3.
It's a whole day right there.
Yeah, that's pretty much a day, so nothing's changed with predict winds. Tina just made some tortillas. Show me your tortillas. Tina just made some tortillas.
Tortillas. Not bad, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Only my second time.
Yep, second time, but this time they turned out a little better than the first time.
Yeah.
Which is the goal, right? Every time you want them to be a little bit better. Again, I'll show you conditions, but not much has changed today. It's just been kind of a lazy day. Pretty rolly today, trying to get some work done, and Starlink keeps cutting out on me. Thinking Hilo, I'm gonna see if I can purchase the high performance in motion flat dish as part of the project in Hilo to get this boat straightened up. But man, look at that water. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So blue. Camera never does it justice. These waves actually aren't that bad. The wind does look like it's starting to build. These waves aren't too bad, but it is a rolling, rocking all over the place. But yeah, I think it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon right now. I think we actually are in Hawaiian time, finally. 4:15 in the afternoon right now. There we go. Some clouds on the sky. Dark. No rain today. No little squalls yet today. That's good. Don't mind that. Still flying the mainsail, double reefed. This wind, I probably could have shook out the second reef, but knowing that it was going to build, I didn't want to mess with it. Just take a comfortable day knowing that we've got some storm days coming. Alright, day 19, not much to update about today. We'll catch you tomorrow. Alright, this is day 20. And it's been pretty uneventful. We definitely having issues with Starlink. We didn't get connected this morning, Starlink, until 3 o'clock probably. And when it came on, it was like this mad rush to get on Predict Wind and download the latest grid files. And make sure that we're set up. So we have winds coming in starting tonight around midnight or so. They're supposed to get up to 20 knots, and they're supposed to last through Saturday night into Sunday morning. Sunday morning they're supposed to start calming down again. Supposed to get wind of 20 knots with gusts up to 24. The waves are supposed to be 9-foot waves at every 6 seconds. So would be interesting. So this is our new course here that I got from Predict Winds today, and you can see we're the red line there. We've turned early because that turning point up there is at about 4:30 in the morning and in 20+ knot winds, and I'm not trying to jibe this boat in those kind of conditions, especially since I have to go out on deck to release the preventer. I don't want to be doing that in those kind of conditions. So we turned early, but you can see our point here down to here is where we make another turn and go up to Hilo. So we've turned a little bit early, but I think it'll be fine. We can turn at that point down below in this, I think that's probably 19-degree latitude down there. And so yeah, it's been a bit of a slow day the last couple of days. We've got, well, Tina started a racing April, but we've got 105 miles yesterday, and the day before that I think it was 104 miles. So today we hit 23:30. So
Trying to
we've
erase
got
the days.
she's trying to forget all of this. But we should be picking up with the winds, and we do expect to be there on the 5th still. Looks like around 2 in the afternoon if everything kind of shakes out according to plan. Of course, it will. It's going to shake out according to plan. So, in order to make that turn, we had to make a sail adjustment. And I mentioned that I didn't want to be making that sail adjustment in those kind of conditions because that sail adjustment required us to move the sail all the way over to the starboard side. So it was over here on port. Now we're on starboard. And in order to do that, that black line that you see right here is the preventer line. And you have to release that. And anytime you release the preventer line, there's a danger that you will have what's called an accidental jibe. And what that is the wind backfilling the sail and everything goes crashing to the other side. You can sustain a lot of damage to your rig. People get demasted that way. So we had to be very, very careful and methodical with how we did this. And certainly don't want to be trying to do that in the middle of the night with high wind and wave conditions, because as you can see where that preventer is tied up out there, zoom in on it so you can see it. That preventer is tied up through that eye right there. And so in order to do this, you have to go out on deck. And nobody wants to be going out on deck in those kind of conditions. So we did it early, and it went really, really well. In order to prepare for this wind and have a better situation than we did last time, I did some reading and some research on sailing downwind without your genoa. The thing about the genoa, which is stored up there because our furling line is chafed to the core, and
We don't want to be flying that Genoa and have that furling line break. That would just be absolute chaos and more than likely result in more damage and unsafe conditions. So we've just stored it. And unfortunately, downwind sailing without a Genoa is slow and also unbalances the boat. So if you think about the wind hitting that forward sail, it's kind of pulling the boat along versus the wind pushing this sail from the center of the boat. It's kind of pushing the boat. And if you think about the wind coming from the opposite angle, right? So if it's coming from 130 degrees of aft, it's coming kind of in this angle. Think about if you put a pencil on a table and you push the pencil with your finger, what happens to the pencil? Well, the back end kicks out. If you have the Genoa out and you push both center and forward, the pencil just pushes straight. So without the Genoa, the boat wants to do what's called rounding up in the wind. And that's when the boat is sailing along and then just wants to round up. And the dangerous part of rounding up in the wind is if you're rounding up and you get a gust of wind that hits you real hard, that's when boats get put in the water. So that's what was happening to us last time. We were rounding up really, really heavily, and I wanted to do some research on how to counter that. And what I found is that you change the sail, shape of the sail, and you do it in order to spill wind off the sail. And so what we've done is we've raised the boom angle up, and what that does is it kind of bellies the sail in the middle, and that allows wind to spill out that sail in the middle before. So as you start to round up and the sail starts to kind of go in the same line as the wind, then all the wind will spill off of that sail because it's bellied out up there. You can kind of see how it's bellied out right now. So that makes sense. It made sense to me when I read it and watched a couple of videos on it. And so we set it up that way. So we released the boom vang, which is the kind of pipe looking thing there. Right there, that's the boom vang. So we loosened the boom vang and then let out the main sheet, which is these ones. And then the boom went from a flat angle and it angled up like this, which then bellies that sail to allow the wind to spill off. So, and we've got it out as far as we can without chafing on that forward shroud there too much. It's hitting it, but just barely. So I think it'll be fine. I think we're gonna have all night tonight, all day tomorrow, and all day Saturday night on this angle. And then Sunday we turn again and head into Hilo. So we're gonna be on this tack for, let's see, what, about 36 hours. Yeah. So here we go. Day 20, getting ready for a storm. Right now we're in, this is about 14 to 15 knots of wind, which is super comfortable, and we're moving at about 5.5 knots with just that main double reefed. So it's comfortable. I mean, we're kind of see, we're rocking and rolling a little bit, but we're not overpowering the boat. We're taking care of the rig. Certainly don't want to, you know, feel like we're in a race. It's definitely not a race. But we are excited to get there, just a few days away. So there's your day 20 update. See you tomorrow.
right, day 21. Not much to update again about today. It's a lot of the same. This is what we've been doing last couple of days. Just hanging out down here, trying to hang on. It's been pretty rough.
And not be nauseous.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough. But we're making progress. It's been, I think we're averaging around 5.5 knots or so. Trying to see. Oh, jeez, come on, there you go. That's our heading. Down to the bottom of that V, we'll make our turn up to the island. That should be tomorrow morning sometime. You can kind of hear in the background how rough it is. Kind of see everything's swinging.
Swinging and swaying.
Yeah, that's the life of a monohull. I tell you, after let's see, 21 days, this gets old. I gotta say, this does get old.
It does.
We've had, what, maybe 4 days so far out of the 21 that have been halfway decent.
Yeah.
It's been a rough ride pretty much the whole way. Take you outside. Second dishes. Definitely looking forward to getting behind a protected break wall. Setting anchor down and getting off this boat for a little while. I am done with this. Sail configuration still the same. When we get down to that bottom of the V and we make our turn, we'll have to switch the sail back to the port side, and then that'll be our tack all the way the rest of the way in. Checked the weather today, and we were supposed to get a break starting tomorrow, and it looks like it's changed, and this is going to be all the way through Sunday and all the way into Monday as well. We're supposed to get a bit of a wind bubble around the island on Monday, and now that looks like it's changed as well. So we'll be entering the breakwater in 15 to 18 knots of wind. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah. Not fun, not fun, but made pretty good distance. I think we did yesterday. What did we do yesterday? 136 yesterday. Whew. God dang, man. Yeah. All right, there's day 21 update. See you guys tomorrow. All right, day 22. And we expect to arrive tomorrow in the afternoon, so we're pretty excited. Made some water today, took some showers. It felt really good. And we are getting ready to turn the boat. So you can see there, that's our turn point. And then after we make that turn, that's the last turn we should have to make, all the way up to the Hilo port. So that's what we're gonna do. We got 137 miles on day 21, so not a bad day. 2597 total miles as of 9:30 this morning. So let's go turn this boat. You guys can watch the process.
Can I wait till I get up there to film it and sit down and stuff?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so I just want to film the process of turning the boat and jibing the main. So just Tina's going to film it, and just an explanation of what I'll be doing. Number one, I'm going to remove the preventer, which is the black line there. That one right there. Remove that preventer. And then I'm going to bring in the main sheet, which is that, which will pull that boom in a little ways. The reason I'm doing that is because after that, I'm going to be turning the boat and I'm going to backfill that mainsail. And I don't want that mainsail to crash that 3 feet or whatever that the main sheet is letting it out. So I'll release the preventer or pull in on the main sheet and tighten that up so that when that main backfills, it only backfills a little bit versus crashing all the way over on that 3 feet of main sheet line. So once it backfills, then I move the traveler, the main sheet traveler, over to the other side, and then release the main sheet to get the boom where I want it, and then tie on the preventer. So that's the process. So Tina's going to film it, and I'm going to show you how I do it single-handedly. Now, this isn't a tutorial on how to do it correctly. I am a rookie. This is just kind of my process.
And he usually has help for me, so.
Yeah, usually Tina's helping me do this, but I did it, what, half a dozen times last night?
Yeah.
The wind was just super flip-floppy last night, and I had to change the point of sail, like, God, probably 5-6 times last night. So, here we go. So you're just going to try to keep me in the picture there.
He's out there untying the preventer. His homemade version of a preventer. Hopefully one of these times we'll get an actual one. Water's a little bit calmer today.
Now we're going to turn and backfill that.
Where am I supposed to go here?
Alright, so now I'm going to take it off autopilot and we're going to turn, and then the wind will get the backside of that sail and it'll pop over. You'll hear it. So we're going to go to like 270.
This is the sound you don't want to hear at night.
Yeah.
When it pops.
There it goes.
There's the sound.
So I'll put this back in auto. Make sure that it's not going to crash. No, don't crash. All right. Now we move the traveler.
Gotta be quick about everything.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Without the preventer on there, that boom can just go flop back and forth.
Yes.
Really damage some stuff. So now we'll move the main sheet traveler over to the other side. I do this slow so I don't get any of the lines tripped up or tied in a knot. Alright. That should do it. Now
Locking her
get these
in.
back down in the cleats.
It's definitely feeling warmer out here.
And then I'm going to release the starboard side, port side main sheet. That's going to let the boom go out as far as I want it to. Let's try that. All right, I'm going to check our degree of angle
Okay.
against the chart plotter.
And I'm sure he mentioned this before, but this is our final turn before we head into Hilo. Couldn't get there any quicker. It's been an adventure, but it's been way too long.
We're too far, so I gotta back off a little bit. I think I'm gonna put the preventer on first so it doesn't crash.
Great idea. Be careful out there. Unties it, swings it to the other side, and reties it back over there so that the boom doesn't just go back and forth and damage things. We don't like that sound. It flogs too hard and it could do damage.
Alright, now we gotta turn that down. We'll go 10 degrees at a time until we line up. And that's how it's done. So pretty easy to jibe the main. It's a different story for the jib, for the Genoa, but we lost our Genoa on, what was it, Tina, day 3? Day 4, we lost the Genoa.
Yes.
Oh, because the furling line chafed all the way to the core, so we have not been able to use that sail, and
Too
that
dangerous
has,
to use, so it's really slowed us down. It's
yeah, big time.
caused a lot of rocking motion.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we will get that fixed.
Yep. We'll
Anyway.
get a couple of spares in Hilo.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's 5 a.m. Monday, May 5th, Hawaii time. 8 a.m. Pacific. And we see land. It's pretty dark out, so all we see is lights, but land ho, baby. The motor on, charging batteries. We just jived the main back over to the starboard side. And we just lost a cup. Just jived the main back over to the starboard side. Made our tack towards land. I don't know if you can see it or not. And look at that. The glow of civilization. Catch you Wednesday. Alright, so we're about 4 miles out from the breakwater. Land ho, baby. swell is pretty steep this close. And some wind. Yeah. Lake water. Trees and everything. Kind of cool. There she is. About 4 miles out. Alright, taking our turn. Headed down around the break wall. Here we go. 4.5 knots. 82 feet of water. Bearing 214. And there is the break wall. Here's the end of it. We'll wrap around that corner. And ho. All right, just coming inside the break wall. It's crazy how calm it gets once you pass that break wall. And here we are, here's the bay. Got a couple of sailboats out here. That's kind of where we're headed. I'll probably anchor just on the other side of them, probably. Maybe this side of them. Haven't decided yet. We'll see when we get closer. But we are here, baby.